Hey everybody, it's Kiwikatgamer here, and well, you might know that I am a successful subscriber with over 50 YouTubers. There's something you might not know about me. I'm a master Yu-Gi-Oh! Duelist. I mean, clearly I'm a master. Just watch this game that I did. Alright, so watch this. First thing you gotta do is you gotta set those two cards, because I didn't draw two in a row the first turn. This is a problem. If this continues anymore, yeah, this might be very bad for my channel, because this isn't looking too good. But here he goes. He summons an E. I don't know what that does. That's just a letter. But okay, there it goes. Okay, cool. Oh, here he summons a guy. He summons a guy, and so he okay, there that goes. And so this is, look, I can make the card bounce. Oh, look, wait, there's Goblinberg. So he summons Goblinberg, and then I just win. Yeah. What the heck? What are you doing here, you daggum Segway? How'd you get in here?
I am the Segway of plot advancement. I am here to ensure that you are actually staying on topic and have a fresh source of new and original content to make.
Wow, really? My very own mysterious Segway that gives me advice on how to make my videos? Wow, I wish I had one of those a while ago.
Admittedly, I was assigned to you when you first made videos back in 2013, or whenever the F, but I couldn't have been bothered.
Oh, that explains a lot, actually.
You know how it is. You start watching F-Zero Legend of the Falcon, and next thing you know it is spring of 2018.
I mean, that series isn't that long, but whatever. You're here to help my videos get better, and I'm all for it. So, what you got for me, bud?
Actually, I am here to tell you that you suck at Yu-Gi-Oh! Because you are not using a viable deck.
What are you talking about? Toons are a totally viable deck. Those win, like, once every 200 times.
I don't think so, Pally. Where is your Pot of Desires?
My what?
Pot of Desires is only the most viable card in all of Yu-Gi-Oh! Since the Blue Eyes White Dragon. If you don't believe me, why don't you check out this video about it?
Why not? I've always wanted to try to make a commentary video, and hey, maybe it'll give me some more subscribers, who knows?
And maybe then you can have more than 8 views on your videos, you pizza-faced cinderblock.
Simo!
Yay, my ears. Hey guys, by the way, do you remember when my opening was this? Yeah, there's a reason that's not my opening anymore. 'Cause loud intros like that are annoying and people click out of them.
What's going on, guys? It's Simo. Today I wanted to bring you a—
God, everything about this is so loud! Why is everything so loud? Not only is the background music to this just this rock music just blasting away at full cry, and it's really obnoxious and does not fit with the tone at all, but he's like screaming over it like he knew consciously that this was going to be the background music for this video.
Video discussing Pot of Desires, probably the most desired card.
Are you serious?
There's a lot of controversy and polarization around this card. It's kind of divided the community because half the community loves this card to pieces, and the other half thinks it's absolute shit.
Hey, whoa, buddy, watch your mouth. This is a kid's channel after all. Gotta censor that out. Sorry, people, he's so unprofessional.
So what I wanted to do was, I kind of wanted to take a constructive approach, kind of delve into some of the mathematics of the card itself, so that you can make your own opinion on whether or not you think the card is good.
Okay, fair enough. That's a noble enough cause, I suppose. I'm a big fan of math myself, and sure, if you can describe to me how losing 10 cards only to draw 2 is a good idea, I'm all for it. Let's go.
So, for those of you who don't know what this card does, what it is on activation as a cost, you banish the top 10 cards of your deck face down, and then you draw 2 cards, and you can only activate it once per turn. Now, the one thing I do want to say is, those banished cards that go face down, you as the player using Pot of Desires are allowed to look at those face down cards.
Oh, cool. Well, that makes it completely viable. What does me being able to know what 10 cards I banished make it any more useful or not useful? That's irrelevant information. That's like being like, oh, I had a assorted amount of dollar bills and I threw them into a lawnmower. You can go and check what dollar bills they were. Some of them might have been 10, some of them might have been 100. You can't get them, but that's what you could have had if I had not thrown them in a lawnmower.
And also, if you get hit by Mystical Ref Panel, I feel sorry for you, because that is gonna suck. But
no, I feel bad for the poor idiot who used that and then has to banish 10 of their own cards just to draw 2. I can imagine how that would go. Alright, just focus, come on. You have a trap card on the field, you just have to play a spell, and you can counter it. I play Pot of Desires! Yeah, for the Mystical Ref Panel now! Oh, wait. Did you say Pot of Desires? Oh. But I digress as usual.
It's basically Pot of Greed with a somewhat high activation cost. It is a +1 because you are using the card and then drawing 2 more. The banishing 10 does not matter, but—
Hold up. Hold it. 1 second. I don't think that math adds up. Hold on. Let me get my calculator just a second. Let's see. Alright. So, let's see. We're talking about, so we banish 10. Okay. So 0 minus, so we have 0 minus 10 is -10, because we start without gaining or losing anything. So we banish 10, then we add 2, -8. What did he say it was again?
It is a +1 because you are using the card and then drawing 2 more. The banishing 10 does not matter. It is a +1.
I don't think so, pal! Okay, nope, not letting that slide. In what context? In what other context does throwing away 10 of something, then getting 2 of them back, equal that you just gained 2, and you didn't just throw away 10? Can I go to the bank right now and steal $10,000 and then just give them back $2,000 and be like, ah, it's fine, this was only a +1 for you, because, you know, the 10 that I took don't matter. Like, seriously, there's not even any math on that, there's not any explanation. He just says, the 10 that you banished don't matter, and then continue right on its way. No, you don't believe me? Look.
2 more. The banishing 10 does not matter, but that really does scare a lot of people that you're banishing 10 cards off the top of your deck, because a lot of people think, oh, well, what if I banish all the best cards in my deck? No. You misunderstood me.
I'm not worried that I'm banishing important cards, though that is an important thing to note. I'm worried that I'm throwing away 10 cards in any sense and getting 2 back. Why?
Well, mathematically speaking, that's actually a lot harder to do, you know, in theory, actually, I should say, it's a lot harder, you know, mathematically for that to happen than you might think. So what I want to do is, like I said, delve into the card a little bit, kind of present you guys some of the numbers.
Excuse me, did you just say present me with numbers? Well, you already can't be trusted with numbers higher than 10, so I don't know if I can trust you, dude.
So that you can make your own conclusion, essentially. So all of these numbers are based on a 40-card deck. I'm going to present the percentages for going first as well as going second. I'm only going to say the—
Oh, okay. So he's going to give us a scenario, a very specific and very controlled scenario where Pot of Desires might be good, perhaps.
Know if you are going first or second, so I felt that was important. I've got the numbers over here, so you might see me look off camera for a little bit just to remind myself of some of the figures.
I will give credit where credit is due. This man is very noble in that he has done this all in one take. My one takes are usually this good at best and worse than this at worst. So, you know, props to you. You do blink a lot, though. As if you're trying to send me a secret signal, as if you're trying to tip me off that Konami is paying you off to make this and cover up their horrible card that they made.
Because there's a lot of them, but I'm going to go ahead and get right into it. So, when you start a game, you draw 5 cards, and I'm going to assume, like I said, you're going first. So now you have 35 cards left in your deck.
Wait, whoa, I just realized something. You're banishing all your cards face down, right? Alright, yeah, I'll admit, that's so much better than just banishing them face up.
You're mocking me, aren't you?
Oh, no. Buzz-looking alien! Where?
Explain what the percentages are of banishing a certain number of a certain number of cards in your deck. Basically, if you have X many cards of one type in your deck, mainly being if you have 3 of one card, what the percentages of banishing 1 of it, or 2 of it, or all 3 of it, and etc, etc.
Look, I hate to be that guy who corrects grammar like that, especially such a minute, not important thing like vice versa, or etc, etc. But neither vice versa nor etc, etc work in that context, because there aren't two things, so you can't say vice versa. And etc doesn't work because there aren't more numbers you can have than 3, unless you're Lot Cobra guy, who thinks you can put 5 of them in your deck and deal 5,000 damage.
Essentially. So, the first card is, if you have a 1-of card, so say maybe Soul Charge, Upstart, any basically card that's on the limited list, essentially, you have a 28.6% chance of banishing that 1 card off of those 10. Then, if you have a 2-of card, for example, so any card you might play 2 of, you have a 42% chance to banish 1 of those 2.
That's like almost half still. That's not a good trade-off. And what are you drawing back? Like, you don't put useless cards in your deck. Like, you don't go hunting with 10 useless bullets and just go, oh, I'm gonna throw these away and get 2 different ones. No, you go hunting with all your bullets. You go hunting with all your arrows. You don't pack useless arrows. Those 10 cards might help you more than whatever your 11th or 12th card are. Because every card is useful in a deck. This whole thing is based off the assumption that you only have 1 good card in your deck. But why would you even run the risk, if that was the case? Why would you even run the risk of throwing away 10 of your cards just to try to get it early? There are cards that do that much better, and if it's that special of a card, and if it's that crucial to your archetype, there's probably ways to deck search it anyway. It's completely superfluous for no reason. Why would you even use it?
But then you have only a 7.6% chance to banish both copies of that 2-of card that you're playing.
That's still not that little of a percent, and that's not just those 2 cards, that's also 8 others that might be equally as useful or more useful. You have no way of knowing, you can't see.
And then when you get into the 3-ofs, it gets a little bit interesting. So, as you'd expect, it's going to be high. If you want to banish 1 of 3-of, I guess you don't want to, but the probability of you banishing 1 of 3 of a copy of a card in your deck is 45.8%. So more than likely when you activate Desires, any card that you have a 3 of has a pretty good chance of getting banished off that 10. The probability of banishing 2 of the 3 of is 17.2%, which isn't exactly too high. And the probability of banishing all 3 copies of a 3 of in your deck is 1.8%. That is extremely, extremely low.
Hey, feff you, buddy. Some myth spells in Wizard 101 have a lower hit rate, and yet people do all myth runs anyway, so.
Oh, and the reason I want to highlight that is for this reason. Let's take a deck like Blue Eyes. Now, Blue Eyes...
Hold it right there, bud. Are you about to talk about Blue Eyes deck? Okay. Let me tell you something about Blue Eyes deck. Everything turns into Blue Eyes or some form of Blue Eyes. Doesn't matter if you banish it. This is a horrible card to talk about Blue Eyes with. Everything turns into a Blue Eyes. Or if there's not a Blue Eyes White Dragon, there's like 6 other things that can replace it. Don't talk about this.
The only real way that you lose if you play Pot of Desires is like if you were to banish all 3 of your Blue Eyes, maybe all 3 of your alternative dragons, I suppose. But basically, it would have to be something...
Thought the chances of that was astronomically low.
Something ridiculous like that. And 1.8% is the number that I really want to highlight here, because the odds of that happening are just so astronomically low.
Oh, see, I beat him to it.
So that's literally, if you want to round it up to 2%, that's fine. That's 1 in 50 games. A tournament is not even 50 games long. So you might, statistically speaking, have 1 bad Pot of Desires throughout the entire tournament length that might banish all 3 of your Blue Eyes or all 3 of your alternative dragons. So
Okay. Fair enough. You haven't shown me the math for this, but... Alright, I can agree. Yeah, the chances of banishing 1 specific card completely out of your deck after using Pot of Desires is very, very low. However, you could have just not banished it at all and waited. Oh, but what if you can't wait? Use a Pot of Greed. Use some. There's like, again, you can't use Blue Eyes deck as a good example because there's like 800 ways to get a Blue Eyes onto the field. Could have just put out a Man with the Eyes of Blue. Could have put out a Kaiba Man. Could have put out a White Stone of Legend. Could have put out any of those, and it would have done literally a better job of anything than Pot of Desires could have. Pot of Desires. So let's say you get rid of all three of your your Blue Eyes, and you don't have alternates for some reason. And then, so here we go. I just banished all my stuff. Let me draw my 2 cards to hope that it's good. Oh look, it's a daggum Scrap Scarecrow and a daggum Watt Cobra. Thanks. I'm glad that I wasted my entire deck's archetype just so I could get a Scrap Scarecrow and a daggum Watt Cobra. Can't even put 5 of them in my deck.
That just goes to show that the card isn't as bad as you may think, and because of that, you have the ability, you're still going to have all your engine pieces, and because you can look at the face-down cards that you banished, you're still going to know what's left in your deck, so you're not going to make any inoptimal plays.
Do you know what would also prepare me for not making inoptimal plays? How about not banishing 10 cards for no reason? Yeah, I think that'd work better, actually.
Sure, there's a bit of variance, and it can not go your way every single time, but for the ability for a +1,
I don't think so, pal!
It's a pretty significant trade-off, and that's again what I just want to highlight. Another thing I really want to highlight is with Pot of Desires, is that so many decks have spell cards that are key pieces of engines that are going to get them the cards that they want. For example, I'm just going to keep using Blue Eyes here as an example. Melody of Awakening Dragon. If you open a hand of Melody of the Awakening Dragon and Pot of Desires, you're more than likely going to use Melody first to grab your Blue Eyes and your alternative dragon, or, you know, any other combination depending on the rest of your hand, to make sure you have your engine pieces before activating Pot of Desires.
But the real question is, why activate it at all? If you already have all your engine pieces, you don't need a deck search anymore. Why are you throwing away 10 cards for no reason, you daggum Binston? How you gonna do that? You can't afford those, not on my diet.
That amount of variance out of it, ultimately putting you in the much better position because you just got the +1.
I don't think so, pal!
And so that's another thing I just want to focus on, because a lot of people aren't really realizing the fact that you can search out all your good cards, because there's so many cards that do that, before you use Pot of Desires and risk losing them all to the activation cost.
He even admits this. He even admits that there's a billion other ways to get a Blue Eyes. So what else are you using it for besides getting cards in your hand? But why would you? There are so many better ways to get cards in your hand other than Pot of Desires that don't also take 10 cards just completely out of the game unless someone's using the Eater of Millions. Why?
You have an 8% chance to draw a 1-of. So, in those 2 cards that you draw, say you have a Soul Charge left in your deck, you have an 8% chance to draw that Soul Charge.
I mean, okay, guys, I sound like a broken record, but my brain just cannot fathom any scenario where deleting 10 cards out of my deck, then drawing the 2 after it, is a more favorable outcome than just drawing 2 cards, than just drawing the cards that I'm getting. Like, I just can't fathom it. I'm sorry, I can't. Call me bigoted, call me closed-minded. I cannot fathom why this would be. I can't think of anything else to say except why not just not banish them and wait.
So that's not bad, considering that if you didn't have those 10 cards banished, it would be a much lower percentage that you were going to draw that Soul Charge. Moving on, there is a 15.3% chance to draw 1 copy of a 2-of. So if you still have 2 copies of, you know, a 2-of left in your deck, or if you have 2 copies of a 3-of left, then you have a 15.3% chance to get into one. So that's pretty good.
Hey, bud. Or you could just wait, you know, and not run the risk of also losing very important cards to your deck. And also, these chances would change the more stuff that you did before using Pot of Desires. So most of this math is actually irrelevant. But you know, whatever. Keep going.
You only have a 0.3% chance to draw both 2-ofs that are left in your deck, so that's really, really low. But that's one of people's biggest fears, is that they use Pot of Desires, banish 10, and then draw 2 more Pot of Desires if you're running 3 in the deck. but it's only a 0.3% chance that that's going to happen.
Again, let me point you to people who play Wizard 101 using the Myth class. Those people, those numbers are normal to them. And they dedicate their entire Wizard 101 career to playing that class. And, you know, they get pretty far. I'm tired of criticizing this because I'm just going to keep saying the same thing. So let's skip ahead in the video a bit.
About was kind of a funny anecdote, I guess, about the card. So there was a Mermail player playing against a Blue Eyes player at my locals. And the Mermail player went first. He summoned Ally of Justice Quarantine against the Blue Eyes player and then passed. Basically, making it so that the Blue Eyes player was basically if he didn't have an out. Now, the Blue Eyes player opened with 4 cards and Pot of Desires. Because that happened, and everyone was kind of drawing that conclusion that Pot of Desires is such a bad card. Well, I kind of stood on the other side of the argument, and I said, well, if he didn't have Pot of Desires, he went from having a 0% chance of winning because he had no out to the Ally of Justice Quarantine, to a 15.3% chance to drawing into that Swords of Concealing Light had he not banished them.
I don't think so, pal! One, I don't think that's how that works. I don't think you can say he would have won. He had 0 chance of winning if he hadn't used this, but he also had a 0% chance of winning because he used it. No, I don't think that's how that works. It's one or the other. Secondly, there are a lot of variables missing from that. One, how soon was one of those Swords of Concealing Light? Was that the first one that he banished? Because if it was, my cure-all for this card is wait. What were the cards in his hand? If they were all light monsters, well, that's unfortunate. Maybe you should have not had a Pot of Desires with you and had a Prohibition or a anything else. And then yeah. And then what cards did he draw after getting it? Because if those were useless cards, I would definitely say Pot of Desires was not worth it.
So basically, if he didn't have it at all, he would have lost no matter what. So Pot of Desires actually gave him the chance to find the out that he needed. Didn't work in his favor, but that doesn't mean that just because it didn't work once, it's ultimately a bad card.
The thing is, I'd like to see a thing where Pot of Desires does work. I'd like to see a scenario where deleting these 10 cards for a +1 is good. It is a better solution than just waiting or using a different card. Show me that.
Mathematically speaking, that gave him the best chance of winning that entire game out of anything else in his deck. So, just another kind of little food for thought example there. Just wanted to throw that at you guys. So, let me know down in the comments what you guys think about Pot of Desires. This card, in my opinion, is definitely worth the hype. It's really, really good. It's a free +1.
I don't think so, pal!
Essentially. And yeah, I just love the card all around. It's gonna be really cool to see what people come up with, really what kind of decks they run it in. Probably everything, but we'll see. So, as always, thank you all so much for watching the video. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. See you next time. See you more!
Well, that was fun. You know, let's look at these comments anyway, just to see some of the thought-provoking and good things that people have to say. Richard says, people that think pot is bad either can't afford it or just straight up refuse to believe in the math and is too hung over their own confirmation bias. Huh. Let's see what kind of videos you got, Richard. Let's see, here we go, Richard. Yu-Gi-Oh! Scams on eBay, don't buy random lots. Let's just see. Oh no, oh no. Are you buying Pot of Desires for $35, kid? Ooh, oh no. Okay. Best of luck to you, Richard, my boy, in your quest to expose and destroy all Yu-Gi-Oh! Card skimmers. Perhaps I is too hungover my confirmation bias to think Pot of Desires is any good at all. Let's be honest, it is the best +1 card there is out there in the market. But maybe spending $35 on such a bad card may not be the best decision to make. This is coming from the guy who bought 200 pounds of mayonnaise off Amazon for $69.99.35. Don't ask why that happened. Anyway, Pot of Desires is really bad, and most certainly not worth $35 you're about to pay for it. The real scam is that Konami even made the card and sent it out to the public to use, and then brainwashed their gremlins on YouTube to make videos singing the praise about it being a +1. And it's obviously not, right? Am I the crazy one? I thought 40 minus 10 plus 2 was -8, not 1. What do I know, though? I'm a subscriber to over 50 YouTubers. Make sure to buy 5 white covers and put them in deck and defy the damage. Bye! And post. Glad all those hours of watching Common Etiquette have gone to good use. Anyway, Segway, are you still here?
Yay. But I got distracted. Did you know the series of unfortunate events on Netflix released its newest season?
I know, I already watched all of it, but aren't you gonna stay here and teach me how to make new videos and give me new ideas and new stuff to make videos about?
I gotta watch it all. Oh yeah, right, I will be back to bring you more videos sometime after I finish this season.
Figures. Anyway, that's it for this video. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. And as I said, bye!